Your ability to see through people, see people for who they really are, and feel everything is the reason why you spend majority of your time alone. Because you know people ain't right. You can feel it. You can see through that like a glass of water. You can read them like a book. You know all the fake friends and family. You know who to deal with and who not to deal with, because you could feel it.
Some people hide behind a facade. They pretend to be nice. They pretend to be caring. They pretend to be supportive. Look at today's. There's so many leaders who come off as that they have so much great hopes for people. But then you sit back, maybe it's something that they may say. Maybe the tone of their voice gives you a feeling. Maybe it's just their whole energy, just their whole aura. I want to let you know you're not being paranoid. That is actually called clairsentience. It is a heightened sensitivity to emotions of others, whether it be their auras that you sensing, and it just gives off emotions that make it to the physical realm. Many people who are empaths, they have this ability, but not every empath have this ability. So every person has an energetic frequency, and some of us feel them more deeply than others. It could be based off a person's tone, or maybe you pay attention to their behaviors, how they move, and you instantly pick up on that, or you're so adjusted to the point where they don't have to do anything and you immediately feel their frequency. But how do you want to turn this gift into a superpower? Continue to watch today's video because I can definitely help you. I'm going to talk about a little bit about me, what I've done to allow me to be on this path of feeling people's energy. These days, a lot of people grow up with trauma, and so I was one of those unfortunate beings who grew up with trauma. And I'm not making light of this situation. I started making friends, and then I got into relationships, and I just noticed these different patterns, and they were all the same based off of how I was treated when I was a child growing up. As time went on, when I began to be conscious of others, I started to be conscious of myself. I started to figure out who I am, what I am feeling, and how I am in various situations. When I am high frequency, when I am probably confused, or if I am operating off a lower frequency. So I know who I am and what my energy is. Then based off of pattern recognition, so I started to recognize the different patterns of the people that were in my life. And then over time, I start to feel their auras. And sometimes it's a very heavy feeling, or sometimes I don't feel anything whatsoever. And so I just noticed things that when people who feel this heavy way and they held this energy, they 9 times out of 10 are people who are not safe for me. And not only physically safe, but also emotionally safe. And so I tend to distance myself, but at the same time, there's other things that I have been working on just to fix that whole thing up. So in today's video, I will show you guys how empaths or people who have clairsentience abilities instantly detect people who are hiding their true character. So the very first thing I would tell you guys to do is to pay attention to their energy, not just their words. A person can talk a good game. They may have a smile on their face. Maybe their behavior cues look like that of a confident person. Maybe they study how people, who knows, right? But it's not only just about the things that they say, it is about their energy. Dr. David Hawkins' research in Power versus Force says that every person has an energy level. Those who vibrate very low, sometimes maybe you're sad, maybe you're vibrating low, but this person's main way of being, their natural being, is low. So they tend to be the manipulators, the gaslighters, the liars, the cheaters, the con artists. They tend to have a very low vibration, and it can feel very heavy, and it can make you feel drained. And me personally, I will feel heaviness around my third eye area, and then sometimes I will feel like pins and needles in my second chakra. So it'll be like anxiety there. My body will begin to feel like this sense of fight or flight. I will walk into the situation very calm, very happy, and then maybe I'll be around another individual and they may make me feel happy, they make me feel inspired, and they make me feel joyous. And that person that's like happy and joyful, they tend to have a vibration that is higher because they give off, and then they themselves have love, care, gratitude, thankfulness. And so that's like a difference that you can immediately sense into people's, and you'll know like a little bit about their character based off the energy that they're making you feel. You can ask yourself this question: when you are interacting with someone, do you walk away feeling happy, recharged, ready to handle the day, feel motivated, feel like you could do whatever you want to do, that you can achieve any type of goal? Versus a person where you may talk to them and everything that they're saying, it sounds good, but then you walk away and you feel just drained, depleted, and you just have to take a nap immediately, because that has been me. So trust your body, trust the signals that it's giving off. So look for the consistency. If their words are not matching their energy, that is a red flag. The second thing to do is to watch how other people treat others. So you may know a person that's a coworker and they may be very nice to you, or they're very kind, thoughtful to the supervisors or to the different bosses. But then there's that intern that is so confused. They may need so much help, but then that person start being really mean and just dismissive of that individual. That tells you about who that person is instantly. So those behaviors are the hardest to fake when they notice that people are not watching, or important people are not watching. That tells you who that person actually is. I heard this one lady on TikTok, and she said how when she went to the flea market, or she went to the market, and her husband, he worked at one of the stands.
My husband's a barber. He has his own spot at the flea market. He makes custom clothing there, right? Does very well. There's stands on his feet from the time he gets in to the time he gets off, and has to turn people away. Anyway, this lady comes in with 2 kids. She was a walk-in. I'm sitting on my special couch, actually laying down. So she comes in and she thought I was somebody else or whatever. And my husband said, yeah, that's my wife. And she says, well, your guys' house must be clean if you can just sit around on a Saturday. If you need something to do, you can come clean my house. Bitch, I want to clean you up, okay? But I didn't say that. So anyway, she finally looks at me and says, well, what do you do? And my real smart, like, what do you do? And my husband says, oh, she's a pharmacist. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. And she goes, oh. And he said, don't let her be modest. She's the big boss over lots of pharmacists and people, right? Soon as he said that, her whole fucking tone changed, and all of a sudden I became important.
So that shows you that that individual does not really care about people. It's about hierarchy. If they feel that person is beneath them when it comes to success, then they won't treat that individual with the same respect. And that shows you about that person's values, morals, and characters. And for me personally, I don't want to be around nobody like that. I don't want you to be my friend and be with me just because you think that I have something to offer, something to benefit you. I'm the type of person where you don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have like this outstanding job or anything like that. As long as you are a kind, genuine, supportive human being, I treat everybody the same, from a janitor to a maid to the doctors to the lawyers. I treat them the same. A person's true character is revealed when they don't have nothing to gain. So be on the lookout of that. The third is to notice if they drain or recharge you. Every person has an energetic signature. So a vibration that naturally impacts those that are around them. And as an empath, we tend to absorb people's energy. When we feel that we have to save, do a lot of rescuing, we put ourselves into those people's frequencies a lot, which is why sometimes you can feel happy around other people and you can feel exhausted around others. I don't know where you may have started your life off at. Maybe in your childhood, you probably was the one that was doing a lot of rescuing, or you was the sensitive child and you just cared a lot. And that sometimes can lead people to take advantage of you. When sometimes people, they sense that care nature in you, they will keep using and abusing. There is no for them. There is no, well, let me think about this person. Maybe it's too much. Sometimes they have like these empty voids, and you have to be careful and not to only just look at people as just like bad, or they make me feel bad. I feel their energy. They have this very bad intent. true, they may do. I feel that the core of people, the essence of others, somewhere so along the lines, there's something in them that is good. And to only focus on the bad, you have to be careful about that, because you'll begin to attract more and more and more than in your life. And it's very important to not be naive and be like, oh, well, I feel this person makes me feel this way, I'm still gonna like give to them, I'm still gonna be supportive of them because there's some little kid in them that is amazing. I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying to not get so caught up in labeling people and just saying that they're good and they're bad. Just keep your distance. When you feel these things, in other people, keep your distance where they end and where you begin. Keep it separate. Like, know that this is what they are showing me right now. But I don't want to look at them in that way. There is something good about them, and I'm going to focus on that a bit. And I'm also going to acknowledge that, okay, this person may have these traits that are not the best traits, but at the same time, they do have these good parts about themselves. If you get too caught up in the labels and you feel people's energies, it could be a dangerous game, because you can attract only that, and you will begin to hide from the world and be weakened by others. And so that is not what this is about. So sure, we know that this person gives off this energy. I have to be careful with that. I know not to trust them in this, because they could potentially discourage me. So by me feeling this, knowing that this is this person's limitation, this is the energy that they're giving off, I'm not going to put so much expectation on them, right? But then there's other parts of them that are amazing. There's other parts of them that are probably good. And I don't want to view people just all bad, because we know in ourselves that there are things about us that aren't not the best, you know? Like for me personally, I know that I may have like things are not the best in me that I am working on, and then some things I'm not working on. Maybe sometimes I just want to accept that I am this way right now currently. I can't fix everything about myself. There's like that will just be too much. Just learn to just accept people for what they are and who they are, and not to only just look at the bad, you know? Because if you only look at the bad, then that means that you have not accepted the bad that is within you yourself. So that takes us to the last portion, which is about their toxic wounds and energy is actually a mirror of you. Sometimes the different energies that you feel, like for example, a person can make you feel anxious. They can make you feel the energy of them making you feel nervous or unsafe, or you feel the energy of them just being manipulative or draining, or just overall just some toxic emotions. Sometimes somewhere along the way, that could be the opposite reflection of you. Maybe in the past, you may have some traumas where a person always took advantage of you, when a person just always was one-sided and that left you felt drained, or that may have been someone that just was highly critical and very judgmental, and it made you feel not safe, or even worse, you know? So the thing about that is to look inside yourself. That is showing you where you may need some healing. So instead of focusing on that toxic, acknowledge your wound. Ask yourself, where is it in me that I may need some love? Where is it in my body that I don't feel safe in? Where have I felt this before? Am I tolerating something because it's familiar, because I felt it before? Recognizing the wound is the very first step to healing this. Next is to release the need to fix others. Let go of the idea that it's your job to fix and to save people, because I know that sometimes we feel very responsible to helping people. And like I said, it goes back to childhood. Maybe you were the over responsible person. Maybe you were the one who was making sure that your mom felt good because the dad was doing her bad, and you felt responsible to make her happy. You just got used to being in that dynamic, and that allowed you to attract people like that, and it just made you feel overly responsible to be in other people's energy fields instead of focusing on your own energy. So the very first thing is to protect yourself, and also to set emotional boundaries. When you are around these individuals that are toxic, it is very important to cleanse your aura, because if you're not careful, it could travel with you. Like wherever you go, it could be stuck in your energy field, and it's something that is not yours. And so one good way to do this is to practice grounding exercises, walk barefoot, do deep breathing, start journaling, take soft baths to remove heavy toxic energies, use visualization techniques. There are so many guided techniques that are on YouTube or things that you can just look up that will help you focus on your aura, focus on your energy field, so that you will not easily absorb that of others. Sometimes when I am not strong in my energy, when I focus too much on other people's energy and I just get outside myself, I will literally feel so drained that I will have to take a 3-hour nap if I'm not careful. So that shows me that I need to do some grounding. I need to do some visualization. I am too much and too invested in this other person. And the last thing is to do is, like, if you want to carry crystals, black tourmaline, carry obsidian to cleanse your energy and to give you this boost of protection around your energy field. So in conclusion, reading people's energy is not simply just magic, even though it can be. It's kind of like a psychic gift, but it's all about paying attention and trusting your instincts the very first time. To always feel the love in other people, but don't be gullible, and also to know where you begin and the other people begin, to have protection around yourself, to trust your intuition, to trust yourself, and don't be so hard. Be compassionate about yourself. You don't have to get this right. This takes time, and this is something that I myself am learning. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, peace.